Hey everyone, it's Rob Stanley with EcomWhiz podcast, and today my special guest is Izabela Hamilton, CEO and founder of RankBell. Hi, Izabela.
Hello, everyone.
Great to have you on our show. And today we're going to kind of be talking about basically like how to effectively rank your Amazon products. And Izabela has RankBell.com, and it's a great service out there, and we'll get into a little more at the end. But let's jump right into it, and let's start talking about like how to create a community of lifetime customers, like get these people to kind of like hook into your product and really kind of become fans or cheerleaders of your product. What do you suggest on things like that?
Absolutely. Hi, Robbie. Thank you for having me. This has
No
been a long
problem.
time coming, isn't it?
Yes,
We've planned this for a
absolutely.
while. So, creating a community of lifetime customers is probably every single seller's dream. This is what we all want. So, I decided to take it a step further and create a community where all the sellers can tap in. As you know, I have thousands and thousands of buyers that my clients get to use whenever it's necessary, whenever they like to rank a product. But what we were talking about before the interview, it's so important to have your own community because services like mine obviously cost, and of course I love the business, but I think it's so important for a seller to have their own. And when you create your own community, you can always rank your product as many as you want, anytime as you want. So the question is, how do we do that, right?
Yeah.
And I think the way to have this amazing community is to first have an amazing product, right? Everybody says that, have an amazing product, and then we all try to differentiate our products in a way that they stand out. But I think that's the first rule: have an amazing product, and then do create a community. And the way we do that, we can start with different groups that we can create. We can do a Facebook group, which I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of, just because Facebook, it's sometimes it's off. Like you're not allowed to do a lot of the things you could do on other platforms like WhatsApp or Telegram or Skype, but you could use Facebook if you wanted to. And that's to create your own product. I have sellers that have created their own Facebook community groups.
Yeah.
They started with 5, 10 fans, let's put it that way, and now they have thousands and thousands of interested future clients, even though they're not a client now. So if somebody has, let's say, a pet product, they can obviously create a group around pet lovers. And if you want to go even more niched, I have a Chihuahua. I don't know if you have pets, but so somebody like me would create a group for Chihuahua lovers. What do you do with a Chihuahua? What's their weight? What do they eat? And from then on, you can kind of play off with your product. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to create interest around multiple products. So even if you only have your pet product, you could extend it and create a product around, create a group around not only Chihuahuas, but around all the dogs. So it doesn't have to necessarily be so obvious where people are going to get bored of just your Chihuahua products. They might be interested in bulldogs, or even though you don't sell a product for a bulldog, but just expand your horizon and be open-minded that people love different things, and it's okay. You can still tap into that market. And for somebody that might not be interested in your Chihuahua products because they do have a bulldog, you never know at what point in life they're going to get a Chihuahua. So this is kind of just an analogy, but you can create this with really any product. You can create a product. You can create a group around knives, chef knives. And you can throw in news, like right now, what's going on in Vegas. All Vegas is shut down. All the restaurants are shutting down. You can use our knives more at home. This is how are some things. This is how you can tap into like some YouTube videos, or there's so many ways to play off of your products and what is happening in the world at this time right now. And, it's unfortunate what it's happening, but for us entrepreneurs, this is a time where we can tap into what's happening and actually take it for, our benefit in a way. And I'm saying that without sounding, mean or anything.
Yeah.
I do feel for what it's happening, but that's what one thing that I would do.
Yeah, no, that's great information. And I mean, getting that community, and then now you have this community of people that you can pull from, and you could probably even use them to maybe even find your next product, right? Like you could
Oh my
go to
God,
them.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I see sellers do that, and it's the most brilliant thing, because let's say you do have the Chihuahua product, and let's say it's maybe some food or maybe a toy, and then you can ask your clients. You don't even have to pay like a picking service. You can just ask your own community, hey, what would you like to see next? Or we have these two products. Which one would you love to see it on the market? You don't even have to say that you're selling it. And I think that you have a really good point, Robbie, right there with that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I've also seen, we've all seen this, right? Like sometimes people build communities and they give it nicknames. So that's, and sometimes it's even suggested these nicknames of their community, it could be Chihuahua dog people or dog lovers is your community, or they give it cute names. So that's always kind of a fun way too to play off of it. It's sometimes just a lot can come from that community. So you kind of have to grow that community. You got to keep an eye on it, and you got to definitely be involved in it. That's one thing too. Talk about if people, stay involved with it, that could definitely grow it, and that could help you. What other ways can maybe you utilize that community with, helping you on Amazon, not just necessarily with, let's say, finding a new product, but what other things can you do with that community as far as maybe samples or something to them?
Absolutely. So one thing I wanted to bring up to you. So last week, just a few days ago, I was in Miami. But before going there, what I did, I started searching on Facebook groups about Miami, like things to do in Miami, or mommy groups in Miami. So when you have some products, you're going to get all these organic searches on Facebook for your particular brand. So make the name of your group something that will stand out, that you yourself would search for. So for me, in this case, I was searching for Miami mom groups, because I have a child. So I was thinking, if I do end up moving there, what are some things that I could involve my son in? So always think of what your customers would look for, and these are organic searches. You don't even have to pay for a sponsored ad on Facebook to get these people, if the name of the group is something very simple, very relatable, something people can find. So once you create your group, it's very important that you keep them interested, just like you said, but you cannot keep them interested just with your product every day. Buy my knives. Here they're so beautiful people. No. So keep them current with different things you can do. You can schedule maybe the first day of the week. Monday is maybe jokes or something. Tuesday maybe a piece of news. Wednesday, keep it in a format that people are looking forward to, and they're gonna get kind of in a routine. And maybe once a week, or maybe even once every 2 weeks, you can remind, hey, I have this product. Here's a 20% coupon, or it's Mother's Day, or it's like it was on March 8th, Women's International Day. For this, we have this special coupon, and you're gonna get a lot of business just from that. And then, of course, if your product is amazing, your product is going to circulate in other groups. So if you happen to have a mom group, which I do, this is how I started my community and how I grew it to such a big number, because I based it around moms. But if you do, I don't know if you've ever seen those products that just overnight get thousands of orders. Yeah. Is because in some of these cases, that product was shared in a mom group. Imagine having like a beautiful set of gray knives, and somebody tried it, and somebody decided to post it in their mom group of 40,000 members. Yep. You don't know, there's all these groups that are secret on Facebook that you can never search for, but they exist. Yep. So it's very important that everything that you do is it's for your clients. Remember, we need them more than they need us, because they have tons and tons of options. We want to cater to them. What do they want? They want style. They want utility. You want to make sure that it's used, in the best way. So yeah, when it comes to groups, just do a little research, and feel free to reach out to me and other experts out there who have built something like this. I don't mind a few minutes of my time to go into more detail, but this is the basis of it, and it's really not as hard as it seems. I think we tend to make it look scarier than it actually is. And I think one of the things is our ego also, because sometimes, we start a group and it's like only 5 people join. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Just keep bringing content as if there were 10,000 people in that group. Just
That's
because
right.
there's 5 people, you know what? Thank them. Say thank you for being a supporter. Thank you. And then eventually it will grow. And if it doesn't grow, do put a sponsored ad out. Do advertise your product. Say, I have this product, but also if you join my Facebook group, you'll get an extra 10%, or just any little thing. And in the beginning, we are going to invest a lot more money than somebody that's already has a product that's running. Because I see a lot of the new sellers that come to me, they say, well, I spend so much money on the listing and the product and picture. I don't really have money for this. And they want to start saving money. But in the beginning is when, unfortunately, you need to spend some of this money, whether it's for my service or, for Helium 10 or for FeedbackWhiz, for all these other amazing services, and for Facebook ads and for PPC. You really have to get yourself going, because you are competing with all these big dogs out there who are already making money and can afford to do it. So always have a little bit of money saved up to be ready to spend on something like this. And even on discounts, this products definitely cost sellers money, and it's hard to give them away. It's like, it's a pain in your heart. Like, oh my God, my product is $80. How am I going to give 50 of them? It hurts you. And I understand that, but you have to look in the long run. Is this going to help me, or is this going to hurt me? If you don't take action now, it's probably going to hurt you, because your product is already done hundreds of times.
Yeah. And especially, during slow times is probably the better time to give some of those products away and maybe try to get that community going. So we're sitting here right now, we're all pretty much at home because of this virus. I think there's so much people could be doing right now, like creating the community. Let's say they never started community. So, if they haven't started community, what kind of steps should I follow in order to, create a community of customers? I mean, we went over a lot about the customers and keeping them engaged, but do I just go to Facebook and just set up a community?
That's what I would do. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would pick a name, and the name doesn't have to be that important. You can always change the name anytime you want. I would start with that and just start inviting some friends, and hopefully those friends are going to invite other friends. But again, if not, you can create a sponsor ad on Facebook, and I don't think it's that expensive. I don't know how much it is. In my case, I never actually had to do that. I started with a very small group of friends, female friends, and then they advertised it to their friends, and their friends advertised it to their friends.
Awesome.
So for it's amazing. But you can do that with, even if you just have one product, you can do that. And you can, as I said, you can do a sponsored ad. You can make some maybe ads. I don't know if Craigslist is still around, but maybe something like that.
Maybe Fiverr.com or something to get an ad created.
There's really and you know what else I would do? I would probably join some groups, or have your VA join some groups, and get very acquainted with the admin of that group. And that actually works. But don't be so obvious. Don't add the admin and say, hey, I have a group. Can you advertise my group in your group? Because they're not going to do it. So always offer value first. What can I help you with? Look, I'm starting this group. I only have 5 members. I see you have 10,000 members. I would really, really love to learn from you how you got to this point. Would you mind sharing a few tips with me? And in return, I would love to do whatever. You tell me what to do, because a lot of these people are going to be like, oh my God, this person is so nice. they don't really have much for you to do anyway. Or maybe if they do and you do it for them, they're going to want to help you. And then, be active in their group and eventually get to a point, say, I also have a group that I'm selling this beautiful kitchen. So you don't even have to. You can say my group is around people who love to cook. They don't have to know necessarily that you have a product that you're about to sell.
Sure.
Say I have a group around people, keto food addicts, and I think your group may enjoy some of the things we share in our group, and you're going to be surprised how many people are going to share that. Imagine do that with 5 groups, you're going to get thousands of people automatically, because they built trust. So the buyers in my community, they trust me 100%. If I tell them right now, hey, do this for me, they will absolutely do it because they've been with me for so long. So if you have a group and the admin of that group of 10,000 people are going to say, hey, Rob has a group and I am part of it and I really love it, at least 500 people are going to join from that group of 10,000. Or maybe the percentage is even higher. But you do that a few times and you got yourself a pretty nice group. And then that's when the organic community flow starts, just like on Facebook. Once you're on page, just like on Amazon, once you're on page 1 with your product, you're going to start having all these organic sales coming in. So same thing with the community. Once you have a handful of people, of course, you have to put in content, just like you have to have a good product on Amazon. You have to keep bringing the content to them. And as I said, once a week, once every 2 weeks, you can do some offers on your product. You may even have a friend that has another product that might want to offer some coupons. There's so many things that you can do with this that will flourish and make your community better. And the more people you have, you never really know what you can use that group for. Maybe one day you're going to be able to monetize that group. And I mean, we're going to another step further.
Yeah.
But a large community of people, you can always monetize in some way or another.
Yeah. And, just to kind of add on to that, let's say people getting started, maybe they get on a group that maybe has a lot of people, and kind of like get in there and start answering questions if you know the answer, or posting questions if you don't know the answer, and like be part of the group, but also be like involved, always like on there and doing something or adding information, like being helpful, because being helpful now, it sort of creates you as a kind of an authority, right? Maybe you're not authority on everything, but you're an authority on a lot of things, and people kind of look up to you. That now when somebody posts something, they might tag you and say, hey, Izabela, answer this question because you know more about this, than I do. And it's a way to basically kind of get known, and then the admins will start noticing that you're posting a lot, and they may actually come to you and ask you maybe to help sponsor the group, or maybe they got something going. They're doing like a little event, or maybe they're doing a Zoom meeting, or some sort of gathering online, and they ask you to participate, and they might even give you a free sponsor on it, right? Maybe, hey, would you be willing to give away 1 or 2 of these during this meeting or something like that? So, and
admins love people that help. They love this. And you brought a good point. So in these groups, of course it's good to have these people come to your group, but if you create that good relationship with the owner of the group, they may even sponsor your product there. They can say, Rob has this beautiful set of knives. They're usually $150, but just for our group today, he's cutting it in half. How many people are not going to jump on that opportunity? Again, because they do trust that admin. They do trust that they already have that. And then you can take some of those people with you. So, and like you said, if you keep answering questions, those people are going to see you as that authority. You may start getting also PMs from them, messages from them. And that's another way of getting them into your group. Hey, I also have this group. Would you mind joining? I wouldn't do it behind the admin's back. That's never a good way. You can get kicked out. You're going to start, having a bad reputation. You don't want to do that. Join a bunch of groups. Just like I said, we have all this time now to sit at home, be creative, start your group, start all these projects that you been wanting to do, and I'm one of those. I mean, this is just some. I have a lot, but these are just what's waiting for
Isabella's
me.
showing a big pile of books for those listening.
And I have a lot more on this side and a lot more on this side. So I'm taking this advice to myself because I tend to be a procrastinator as well. And, I know I keep going all over the place because there's so much I want to tell you guys.
Yeah.
But one of my coaches, my mentors, she lives in Italy, and she's the most brilliant mind that I came across. So I had a coaching call with her right before this, and we were talking about this exact subject because I keep buying books because somebody recommends it. Oh, you need to read this book. Oh, you need to read this book. And I keep buying them, right? Because Amazon, thank God that for Amazon, right? I keep buying them. Boom, two days later, it's in my house. Now I have this books, and I'm like, when am I going to start reading them? So what she was saying, Miss Courtney, she said, do 3 times a day, 20 minutes, set a timer. And this can be on any project that you have. In my case, is reading books because I love reading. And, as I said, I keep buying books and they never get read. Set a timer 3 times a day for 20 minutes. When you're going to be able to have that time, and show up and do it. And in the beginning, it may not feel like you're getting a lot done, but it's going to compound in a week, in a month, you're going to see how much you've accomplished. So if your goal is to start a community around your product, this is the perfect time. Set a timer, 20 minutes, even if you just sit and think, even if you don't know where to start, turn off your phone or put it in airplane mode. The phone is a very big distraction for me because I do a lot of the work from my phone. So I'm really talking from my experience. Throw it in the trash, put it in the other room, whatever you need to do. 20 minutes, don't look at the phone, set the time. And I'm telling you, even if you just sit there and you think of your next moves, it's better than not doing anything. And then you'll see the next session is going to be easier. And you're going to start looking forward to all these little sessions that you have with yourself, because you're going to start remembering what it was like before we had all these phones and technology, and how creative we can be. Because all this technology, what it does, it's definitely very useful, but if it's not used in the right way, it can really impact our creativity. And again, I speak from my own experience. Like, if I can be on the phone and next thing you know, an hour has passed and I'm like, what just happened? So if we can start to retrain ourselves to put in the time necessary, and this is really the perfect time because we are stranded in the house, and it's a bad time, but it's a perfect time. I almost feel like we kind of did this to ourselves for everybody to kind of zone into what we need to do at this time, whether it's to create a business, whether it's starting your Amazon brand. This is the time, guys. Like if there has never been a better time than now, when everybody's at home. There's absolutely no excuses. This is the time. This is it. You start your community, start your product, start ranking your product, start selling your product, start speaking with suppliers, even though there's a lot of categories that have been paused for now. Again, this is the perfect opportunity. Everybody else is paused. This is what's going to separate the winners from the losers. And I want to be on the winner side. I definitely do. And I know a lot of your listeners are in the same boat. We all want the same things. We're all entrepreneurs. We all heading in the right direction. And this is the time to kill it, guys. This is it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now is the time. And I mean, I was also thinking, and just to kind of, not to go too off subject, but also there's groups on LinkedIn, right? So even though LinkedIn is more of a professional, you just never know, right? You might, maybe all of a sudden somebody who runs if we're talking about like knife products, let's say there's a chef out there or somebody, they, are cooking at a restaurant. They may be interested. Maybe they have a group or they have a big following. So even though that's kind of more of a professional level, that's another group though. I'd go create a group over there. Me personally, I mean, I got on LinkedIn about 1.5 years ago, and it was really like, just like you basically said,
I had like 1, 2, 5, 10 people that were like friends of mine that basically connected with me. Now I have almost 5,000 people connected, and they're all like pretty much Amazon world people, something to do with the Amazon professional world, either sellers or agencies. Anytime I post something, it's like it gets just reposted a bunch of times because they know that the content I'm putting out is valid, good content, or it's something that I found that I think is of value to other people. Maybe I didn't write it, or our company didn't write it. But it's one of those things that I kind of use like an 80-20 rule. Like 80% of my content needs to just be good content that gets out there that helps people. And then maybe like 20% is, okay, if we have a special going, I'll post a special. Hey, we got a special going for FeedbackWhiz or something like that. So that's another sort of avenue that you could take of building a community that would basically, could absolutely help you. And so here, I get this question. I've seen this question come up. Once you build these communities, and let's say you're driving them to your Amazon product, does that violate Amazon's terms of service? And I know you probably get asked that question quite a bit, right?
Of course it doesn't. These are your people. This is what Amazon actually wants to see. They want you to have buyers, because if you have buyers, then they're going to go on Amazon, onto Amazon platform, and order the products off of Amazon, which in turn is making Amazon money. So there's a lot of misconception when it comes to this, because people think, Amazon doesn't like this, Amazon doesn't like this. Amazon has so many rules that it got us thinking that they're against this. But they're not against us, guys. They are for us. Amazon wants sellers to be profitable, because if the sellers are profitable, Amazon is profitable. People say, if I start selling too much, they may think, I'm doing something. No, they want you to sell too much. That is why when you do a search, find, buy campaign and you drive your product on page 1, guess what? Amazon pushes you on page 1. Who do you think does it? Like some fairy? No, it's Amazon. They want you. They're literally the one cheering you on from the back, saying go, 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 go. So when you push those ranks up, Amazon is right along with you, and it's helping you get on position 1, because they want you to sell. They want you to make money. That is why they give the new sellers the honeymoon period, because they want you guys to be able to get to page 1 and be able to sell just like the other sellers do.
Yep, absolutely. So wait, you mentioned search, find, buy.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everybody, kind of give them an understanding of what your definition of search, find, buy is, and maybe some pros and cons also.
Sure. Search, find, buy is probably the best organic way to rank your product. And just like the name says, search, find, buy, you're giving instructions to your community, to your buyers, and helping them find your product on Amazon in the most detailed, specific way. So if your chef knives are on page 8 of Amazon, you would tell your buyers, hey, please look for my product at this time. It's approximately on page 8. Please take your time and, research for it. And when you find it, let me know. You can make it into a game. You can gamify everything. People love games.
Sure.
So you can pose a question. Hey, this is my product. This is the picture of my product. What page were you guys able to find that on? Right.
Oh yeah.
So when you do that, you're driving that ranking juice organic, right? Oh, we were able to find it on page 8. Great. Do you mind purchasing it now? Here it is. Here's the coupon for it. Or, if you are willing to buy it from me and test it and give me your honest feedback, I will rebate you back. So somebody buys the knives, they're $50, you rebate them back, and they give you a feedback. And when I say feedback, I don't mean go write an Amazon review. They actually tell you as the seller the pros and cons or what's good and what's bad about your product. Or maybe it's perfect. But imagine if your product is not perfect. Imagine how much a feedback like that can help you. You can actually take that and make your product better. I always love this more than anything. And I know people love reviews on Amazon because it's social proof and, it helps you drive sales. But I think the part that most sellers are missing is this crucial piece of information, which is, how good is my product really?
Yeah.
Because that information is what is going to set you apart in the end from all these other sellers. You know, you have these knives, but, you know, 10 other sellers have the knives, and maybe they don't care about their product as much as you do. So imagine in the long run, if your product still sticks out, yeah, they may buy reviews and they may do some black hat techniques and bad things, and those kind of things kind of resolve themselves. But in the end, all these big brands that are just thriving is because their product is amazing, right?
Absolutely.
So,
you know, some people, just to jump in there, like some people might be hearing us talk about knives and they're like, oh, knives, that's not a great example. Well, yeah, it is, to be honest. Like, I was just thinking about this, that what if you're getting a bunch of feedback that, hey, the handle's too small, or hey, the handle's too big. Those are very particular things that maybe if you're getting enough people that are complaining about it being too small or too big, you can go back to your manufacturer and say, hey, I need to make it smaller, I need to make it bigger. So there's actually a lot there that could really help you, especially on your first run of a new product, to maybe on the next one make sure that certain details are fixed, that maybe now, you know, hey, there was a lot of issues with people thinking the handle was too small, we made it a little bigger, and now all of a sudden sales picked up because maybe the complaints were that, hey, it was too small, and now you made it bigger. Now your sales picked up because now it's better quality. Whereas maybe the other people that are selling that similar knife didn't do a little evaluation like that and get some feedback on their handle, and they're now, like, you know, hurting from it, and you're now moving ahead of them. So that's a great example you gave there.
Yeah, and one pointer actually, if you're a brand new seller, you don't have a community, you don't have a product, but you are thinking of doing knives, what I would do is I would pick 10 sellers that have knives. I would create a Google document with, you know, the product, the link, everything that you want, the price, what are they selling for, what are they making, and then do a column of all the things that you see people are doing bad reviews on. So I know there's two kind of bad reviews. There's fake bad reviews that people are just like, oh, bad product. Terrible, 1 star. Those are not the real reviews. Those are probably competition or whatever. But there are some 1, 2, 3 star reviews there that they will tell you a lot about the product. So I would either have, you know, myself or a VA go through these 10 products, pick out all the bad reviews, and just like you said, the handle's too small. I dropped the ones it cracked. Keep a list of all these bad things. So when you do source your product, these are the things you are going to point out to your supplier that you want fixed. And then when you create your listing, you can say, our product does not slip from the hands. Our product does not crack when you drop it. You can use everything that you read on the negative reviews on the others and put it into your listing. So now not only you start from scratch, but you have a place to start. Because I notice a lot of people don't know where to start because there's so much information overload. This is where I would start.
Absolutely.
If you have a product in mind, go check all the bad reviews first. Based on that, create your listing and just continue on. That you don't even need a community to do that because the community already exists of all those people that have bought these products and have seen what is good and what's bad about them.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. You know, the fact is that Izabela and I could probably go on for hours talking about this, but I want to go on to a couple other questions. So let's, Izabela, why don't you tell me, like, if you weren't running RankBell right now, what do you think you'd be doing? Like, what would you be doing in life? I'd like to hear your answer because you're a very big community person. You're always around. You know, I always see you all the time at different Amazon events. But if this hadn't come into, you know, you creating this RankBell company, what do you think you would be doing?
Oh, God. Well, I'll tell you a few things that I love, and then maybe we can come up together with what I would be doing.
Right.
I love people. Absolutely. I thrive on people. That's why I go to events. And when I say I love people, I actually really do. Like, I care about you. I care about what you do. I care about where you're going in life. I love that because I mean, this will totally be another episode on FeedbackWhiz, but I am very, how do I say it? Like very spiritual and open-minded. And I love people. I want everybody to be happy. This. Okay. So I love people. I love money a lot. So, when you take these two, I would probably be in a position where I would be surrounded with people and with money. So I used to do real estate, and I really loved real estate. And that involved a lot of people and a lot of money, but it was limiting myself a lot because there's only, even though you can make as much money as you want, but you're still working for somebody. So I would still be running some type of business where I would be my own boss. And because I love, people and all that, I love employing people. So my team, I have about 12 people right now that are primarily under me. And then we have a larger team that does other things, other ramifications. So I would always be in a position of helping people and helping women move into a direction of empowerment. So I don't know how long I will be owning RankBell. I don't know if I will ever be selling in the future, but and even if I do or not, I would still be moving into this direction of women empowerment. So I will run some type of nonprofit that will help women feel more empowered, and women in business. And it goes back to where I'm from. I come from a very impoverished country, and I didn't have a lot of money. I came to this country with $100 in my pocket. A lot of people know by now. So I would
tell us your background. Give everybody kind of the story, because I think it's very interesting. And even though I know it because I know you, but there's others out there listening or watching that, maybe haven't heard your story. So give us kind of the brief of where everything.
Sure. So I came to this country when I was 20. I was turning 21. It has been a long life dream of mine to come to US because of what we are able to accomplish here. And even though like in this hard times that we're going through, our country's kind of shut down a little bit, we still have a lot more freedom than other countries do. As I was talking to my mentor this morning, in Italy and France, everything is like you cannot go outside. So even though things seem very bad here, they're not as bad as in other places. So when I grew up in Romania, we grew up in communism. We had a dictator. You were not allowed to do this, do that. You're not allowed to go outside. You're not allowed to watch TV. You're not allowed to order more than go to the store and buy more than necessary for your family, which kind of brings me flashbacks right now because my brother went to the store yesterday and he said they limited him to like only 2 pieces of like meat or 2 of this. And I'm like, holy cow, are we back in Romania? But yeah, so at that time, it was just the norm. You had to, we were 5 in our family, my parents and my siblings, and we had to go to the store with this little card that said your family has 5 members and you can only buy 5 loaves of bread to last you for however long. So I've always had this in my mind. America's the greatest. America's the best. They're open-minded. They will help me succeed. And I created a vision where every single day, that's all I had in my head. I wanted to come to this country so bad that I made it a reality for myself. So every day, I want to go to America. I want to go to America. I finally got here. When I got here, I was like, oh my God, now what? So I had to start creating new goals for myself. But because I noticed that, having that goal, coming to America and accomplished it, it was such a big win for me that everything else seems smaller in comparison. So every goal that I put myself into, I was like, there's no way I'm not going to make it. Like, I already know in myself what I'm capable of. And when you have so much confidence in yourself, absolutely nothing stands in your way. That's why even with RankBell, I know we are the best because we put in so much heart and so much work into it. And, nobody else can compare. And maybe that sounds a little egotistical, but I know like this is facts, So this is a very long answer to what you asked me. But
no, well, how about what was the first job you got when you came over?
I was a nanny. I was an au pair.
Au pair. Yes, and then how'd that evolve into did you go real estate next or?
No way. I had a long way and a lot of hurdles and a lot to learn. So going from that to being a boss. I was an au pair and I loved it. So one other thing about me, every single job that I had, I gave it my all. I loved it. I gave it my all. I was a nanny, took care of kids. I loved it. I mean, they were spoiled brats. And I was like, oh my God, these American kids, they're so spoiled. In Romania, they're not as spoiled because, you have a period where you compare everything to like your country. Like, oh my God, they can do whatever they want. Now you have to see my kid. Oh my God, he runs the world. He's as spoiled as they can get. So now I get it. But yeah, so I was a nanny. I was doing all kinds of jobs. I mean, I started working at a restaurant as like a hostess, and then I moved up to being the event planner and marketing director. And from then on, I started doing real estate. From real estate, I went to Africa and Burma. I was there for over 3 years. I was working for the U.S. Embassy. That was an amazing, amazing experience. And that is when that kind of rolled into Amazon, because I was there kind of isolated and away from the world. And it gave me time to like, okay, let me see what Amazon is all about. And I just fell in love with Amazon. I mean, it's such a big platform. They're amazing. I mean, they're taking over the world, and I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to have a piece of that, and I am so thankful that I did, because I have been able to help so many sellers accomplish so many of their dreams, financial, dreams and situation, and within that, help myself learn so much and meet all these amazing people like yourself, Ravi. I mean, this has been one of the best experiences for me. But again, it's probably because of the time that I am in my life. I am older. I think differently. I look at things differently than I did when I was 20 when I came. But I'm so thankful, and I hope whatever happens in the future, I'm still able to be part of this Amazon creative side. And whether I have RankBell or not, I'll probably still stick to that.
That's amazing. And you're obviously an amazing person, in my opinion, and you're such a great person to talk with. And anybody, I mean, Izabela is at a lot of events. If you ever see her, don't be intimidated. Walk up to her, ask her questions. She's super open to like asking or to giving you information and helping you out. And she'll just, absolutely amaze you with her knowledge. And it's so vast. And she knows a lot of people and knows a lot of subjects in the Amazon community, not just the Amazon community, but just, kind of focused in on that. And again, Izabela Hamilton with RankBell.com. Thanks, Izabela, for being on the EcomWhiz podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Robbie. I cannot wait to see you. I cannot wait for this shutdown to be over so we can be in our own element and go to all these events and see all of you guys as they're listening and all you beautiful souls. So thank you, Robbie, for having me.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for more information, please visit FeedbackWhiz.com.